guys. So today we'll be conducting the follow-up session for the session we conducted previously on Python. Myself, I'm Aditya, technical team member in DSC. So the agenda for today will be just a recap of what we did in the previous session, and we'll be looking at the various things that we can do with lists and dictionaries, the main data types in Python, complex data types. We'll have hands-on activities between each of those. So let's look at loops, assignments, and all the basics in a simple function. So let's say I want a function that can check whether a given number is prime or not. So firstly, how do you write a function? So according to Python, you just keep def and then give the name of the function. I'll call this prime because I'm checking whether a number is prime. Inside, I can give all the arguments that I need. So let's call my number. We need a number in there, so I'll call it num. So by putting a colon, I say that I'm opening my scope. So all the lines that are 4 spaces away, basically indented by a tab, are called to be within a block of code. In C and all other languages, you'll usually use flower brackets, and they'll define how a block exists. But in Python, it's based on the space. So Python is very space sensitive. We have to keep that in mind. So here number is a specific number they given us. So first, all we can do is we'll write a loop for I in range num. So running a loop from, I don't want 1, so I say 2 comma number. So say my number is 4. So this loop will run from 2, 3 and 4. So I will take 2 first, then 3, then 4. So now that I'm checking if the number NUM is prime or not, all I'll do is if number mod I double equal to 0. That is the ideal case. So in a specific case where they are divisible, given number, say it is 4. So if it's 4, we know that it's not prime. 4 by 2 is it's already divisible by 2. So we just let go of 2, and because that we can stop this loop and return no. Otherwise we return yes. So any specific test case failing says that is not right. So we just say return no. So you know that if it comes out of the loop, we can just return yes. So there we have a function that does the same for us.
Their I is not defined, right?
Yeah. So in Python, unlike C, there's all these definitions of variables happens implicitly. So you don't have a specific index definition. That's not how things work in Python. You directly take x, store it to be 5. So when you do this, x directly takes 5, and Python in itself defines a data type for x. So when you run type of x, you can see what's the type. It will be int. That will be done in the backend. So that's one part you don't need to worry about in Python. That's why you don't need to define I beforehand. So now let's just test out how that prime works. So I'll say prime. I'll say 5. Yes, it is prime. Obviously 5 is prime. So it's just the other text case. 4 is not prime, we get a no. So that's a simple function to check whether a given number is prime or not. Today we'll be looking at lists and list comprehensions, and at the end even dictionaries. So firstly I'll tell you about lists. So we have seen lists, the basics of them in the last session. So we define them with, say, let's call it li. It's a nice short form. So li equal to, you can either say list and like that, or I can also do something like li equal to can just give square brackets. Both of them work. So that my li is just an empty list. Or so now if I want to keep store something in li, I can use some functions of li, that's a list. So if you want to check out what data type it's called in Python, you can just put type. It's a list. So now say I want to add some elements, I can say li dot append 5. So that way I store a 5 into li. So this doesn't show us any output, as it's just storing, it's an operation. Now if I go look at li, it changes. There's an element, specific element 5. I can access that specific element with li of 0. So if you want to get deep into the stuff of how accessing works, how changing between them works, you can look at the previous sessions recording. So today let's look at a more deep dive as to special functionalities of Python, what Python can do with these lists. So now we just saw that we wrote a function that can find out whether a given number is prime or not. So let's just store that number again, number equal to 5. Okay, so now I'll make a list comprehension. So how list comprehensions works, it's basically a short form for a for loop. So I say I for I in range num. So I'm making a list out of this li equal to this. Now if you look at li, it look like this. So li will be all the elements from 0 till 4. Right, now I'll make this list based on the whatever we did previously in the function. So I'll say from we did it from 2 till number, that will look 2 3 4, something like this. So now there are specific functions that are present in Python. So for example, the first function that comes to my mind is map. So when you use map, you basically iterate through a list and apply a given function onto the elements of the list. So say my function would be float. So to give you an example of what a float does, so if I say float of 5, it converts, okay, to spelling mistake, sorry. So it converts the specific data we enter into floats. So say I had a data type just here, x, which was integer. So I'll say float of x. I'll store that back. Now if I see type of x, it'll be changed to float. That's how. So changing between data types is as simple as this. You can just put out the name that is present in Python and change it. So now I want to apply this float function to all the elements of this list. So I say float, that's the name of my function, and then I give it my list. So if you want to see this output, we need to again call it from a list. That's something implicit. So once you do that, you see that all the elements in your list change to float. You can tell by seeing that it's a 0.0. So now say this is my functionality. So instead of float, you can also give specific functions that you make yourself, preferably a lambda function. So what lambda functions are one-line functions without names, and you never use them again. So I say I use them only in this place. So I say lambda L will be my number. So L mod 2. This will be my function f. Let's call it f. To lambda L mod 2. So if I call f with a specific 4, it just does 4 mod 2. Similarly, we can do this with our number. So we had a number here, right? So we can take number and num mod L. So whatever we give here, number is 5. 5 mod any number would be something like 1, If you give 3, it'll be different. You won't get a 0 anywhere. That's the point of the function we wrote there. So now in a list comprehension, if I use map and then instead of float, I just copy paste that. Instead of float, I'll give it this function f that I just created here. Usually you don't give it like that. You just directly write the lambda itself here itself. Let's do that. Let's skip this step. So you give it the lambda function here. What this essentially does is, L is my variable. L iterates through all the elements of the list. There is 2, 3, 4. Before the function application was converting it to float. Here what we do with the function is, we do number 5 mod L. L being 2, 3 and 4. So now that we see that there are no zeros present here, we know that our number is, we can tell whether our number is a prime number or not. So you can do something like number model, you can change it to Boolean type. Here to Boolean, either it is 0 or not will be the output, or we'll see trues and false here. So if everything in this array is true, then we know that our specific number, whether it's prime or not. So you can tell because all are true, my number is prime. If I get a single false, so say I change my number to, what should we change it to? Let's just change it to 6. So now that I've changed it to 6, my Li would look something like, I'll have an extra 5. Now that we'll run the last cell, we see false coming up. So because we see false, we can tell that 6 is divisible by 2 and 3. That's what these falses indicate. So based on the fact that there's false or true present in our list, we can tell whether it's a prime number or not. So to get more better at this, I'll say I want the sum of this list. So what sum does is it just adds up all these. The false points to 0 when you try to add up falses and trues. That's how Python works with these things. So, and true will just give return 2. So the answer for this would be 2. You just say, Python code is preferably not written in this long order with multiple brackets, but for the current functionality, what I'm teaching you today, we are all trying to make things in one line. I'm showing you how things can be done in a single line. So now that we see sum is 2, but we are comparing this to the length of the list, which is 4. So if these both are equal, we know that our specific number is prime. So let's say double equal to length of Li, which is false. So our function boggles down to just this simple Li. So in place of this Li, I can just replace whatever I created there, or I can just take up this thing, range from 2 to number, and put it down here. Range 2 to number, and let's store the number. Okay, that will be stored here also. So our function will take in the input number. I'll take it 7 this time, and 7 being prime is true. So okay, so there's one more thing we can try. In place of map, we can use something called a filter. So I suppose you can try out a question on this topic. So let's go to another code block. So what we did here, can do the same thing in a different way. So if I don't take map, I'll take something called a filter. Filter basically only returns elements where my function returns a true value. So in the range of 2 to number, Boolean would be returning true for only a few elements. So to look at that, I guess we need to break this. Let's do that. You run that. You see that for 7, all the elements will obviously be returning true. So all the elements will be returned. I don't want all to be returned. I want to check whether this list has elements that are divisible by 7. Based on the fact that this list is empty or not, I can tell whether it is prime or not. So I'll again do the not pole thing where we did, doing which we have 0 elements here. Now converting this list to Boolean. So while converting a list to Boolean, all the list checks is if it has elements, it's true. If it has no elements, it's false. So now because it has no elements and is returned false, we know whether our specific element, our specific number. So this is not prime, so that's what we are returned. We just have to be careful what it returns. So that is one more thing you can do. Instead of map, you can use the filter function. You can try that out also, but so we'll just go to the next part, dictionaries, as we don't have much left in lists.
Okay.
So the way you initialize the dictionary is similar, but you'd rather use d equal to dict function like that. What dictionaries are? In lists, you had specific mappings, specific indexes for every element, like li of 0, 1. You had the 0 indexing. In dictionaries, the indexing would be somewhat different. So when you are creating a dictionary, you can either just make it an empty list, empty dictionary, or I'll just point 5 to 7, 8, 9. So this will be my dictionary. So now d of 5 is the index which points to 7. It will return 7, and d of 8 would return 9. So the objects specifically in this dictionary are really flexible. They can take any Python objects. I just gave it an integer for simplicity, but you can give it a list, I guess. So I guess the keys will be hashable types. You have to check out what that is. And the result, what the key will return, that is properly flexible. You can have any data stored there.
Is that not the same for lists?
Lists also, you can have another dictionary inside a list. You can have anything inside a list. All you need to know is that it's a Python object, something that you can store in Python, or
Okay.
Python data type. So yeah, that's as simple as dictionaries. So specific iterator methods and stuff. So
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
I guess that's it. We can wrap up. Thanks for joining.